are prepared to break the silence. I'll be out in the sunshine, running beside the lions. I've been feeling down, but I've been looking up, afraid to fall. God, I've been so down, can you pick me up? Don't let me fall. Can you show me how to fix this mess? I am down and on my knees and I may fall as I'm so close to the end.
How do, guys? Welcome back to Turf Moor House TV, and we are back with another match preview ahead of a local derby, Burnley Preston. I know a lot recently we've had friendlies when we've been a Premier League side, but now it's league games, and obviously the last, we've already played each other at Deepdale this season, which hasn't been a good place for the away side, and I'm sure Ollie will agree when we bring him in. But yeah, from me and Diddy down there, hope everyone is well. Massive hi to everyone in the chat, and thanks for your support. If you are listening to us on the podcast platforms, then a big hi to your massive selves, and thank you for all your support as well. You can check us out on all social media, as you can see along the bottom of your screen. But here is just a little gist of where you can find us at Turf Moor House TV. Hey, here he is, the man, the myth, the Preston legend. It's Ollie. How are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm all right. Not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
No problem at all.
Obviously, chatting football or chatting shit, as some people will probably tell us that we do. But yeah, no, I appreciate it. Obviously, Thursday night, and as you said off camera, new job and stuff. Taking up a lot of time and things, but not tell people where they can show the support to you, and a bit about yourself and your background of supporting P&E.
Yeah, so I started up the Buckpie podcast. I think it was about a year and a half ago. I say I started up. It was co-founded with about 5 of us at the start, and we grew and grew. Recently, we haven't really got around to obviously recording prior to the World Cup. Hopefully, we start getting back into the what is it, schedule of it, I kind of put, because I had a set schedule of how to do it, and then I'm having to change it around because my new job, but we'll get back onto it. Personal account, obviously at Ollie Hargreaves on Twitter, and I'll regularly
I know where you're going. I know where you're going with it.
It's that one word that always gets me. But yeah, I only tweet about North End on my personal account anyway. So yeah, that's it really from the account social side of it, really.
No, not a problem. Not a problem. The link to the, as you can see running along your screen, there is the links to, I think, your Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter account. So people can go check them out if they need a P&E fan to come on and speak about Preston. Or if they just want to fire some shit at Preston because it's a derby, then there's the details. But no, as I say, really do appreciate it. Thoughts on your season so far? Yes, I know you said off camera when I said you're 4 points outside of the playoffs, but then so are a host more clubs as well. What have you made of your season so far?
I mean, you look at the Championship table and it's a bit of a roller coaster of emotions. Really, we've won 11, but we've also lost 11. So you take into consideration, you win some, you lose some, 50-50, it's all right. And you look at the draws, 7 draws as well. The majority of them were at the start of the season when we couldn't score a goal to save our lives, and it was just 0-0 every other game. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster season, I would say. But right now we're probably pulling into the end of a roller coaster where you're a bit you just want to get it over and done with. Really, we just 29 games into the season, and you can't wait for the rest of the season to finish, because I know you said we're 4 points off playoffs. We're never getting anywhere near the playoffs by the end of the season. So, to be fair, the first thing I'm looking for is P&E to pick up another 6 points to ensure our security in the league more than anything, because I don't think we'll go down at all.
No,
but there's some, but then again, you look at Hull a couple of seasons back. They were doing well. Had a poor January. I mean, I'm not saying we've had a poor January at all. We've brought in a couple of good players. But they just fell from grace. They went from like 8th down to rock bottom. So, hoping it's not another Hull situation. I don't think it will be. But yeah, Preston will be nice and secure in our area of 11th to 16th, I think, this season.
No, I mean, would you be happy with that? Would you be happy with that? Just, I mean, I suppose it's sort of a similar pattern, and obviously you want to see progression season in, season out, but
with how the season's gone, I'll be happy with just staying in the league. Yeah.
No, it's a fair one. Fair one. Let's have a look at a couple of comments then. BTRD says, greetings to your bad self. Andrew's in. Hope you're well, mate. Hope everything is treating you nice up in Bonnie, Scotland. Brad is in. He says, another Vincent victory. I'm going 2-0 Burnley. Well, I'll take that in a heartbeat. And Anthony, a Bristol City fan, funnily enough, says, big up down Burnley to beat Preston. We beat them last game. And then all that shenanigans. Luke says, yet another company masterclass, sadly. Burnley 3-0. Anthony says, sorry, I was wrong. 7-0 Preston. Glyn says, went Norwich last week. Absolutely cruised it. Can only see a 3-0 win. All goals in the second half. Up the Clarets. That's not a bad shout. I mean, we did play pretty well. I wasn't expecting that performance against Norwich in the slightest. You mentioned there about not having a poor January. Were you happy with the business you did, or is there any areas you'd have liked to have seen be a bit stronger come the end of?
Well, we've needed a right wing back for the past 3 transfer windows, because Ryan Lowe's come in. He wants to play 3-5-2, and we're playing a centre midfielder at right wing back at the moment. So, we've not filled that gap. The centre backs, I still feel like we probably need another right centre back. We brought in a attacking midfielder, which I thought we needed in Josh Onomer, albeit a 6-month deal.
That were a good signing though, because he'd literally just been released by Fulham, hadn't he, that morning?
Yeah.
And then next minute he rocks up in a P&E training kit.
Yeah, it's only a 6-month deal, so it's one of those where if he does do well, I really hope we can keep him. But if he does also do well, is he just putting himself up into the shop market? Because nothing's going to happen for Preston this season. So is he just coming in and putting himself in the shop market where nothing's going to happen for Preston, and then we're going to have to replace him? I'm hoping it's the former rather than the latter. But what I am happy with the signings brought in. They're good quality. But what I would say, Dan, is it's very window to window for Preston at the moment. We're a cutting costs club. We don't really have many sellable assets, so we're really just going window by window, trying to bring in frees and loans, and just hoping it works out. Because I feel like, we are unofficially up for sale. So I think it's just trying to chug us along, like keep us on the same road, and hopefully we get bought whilst we're still in the Championship, really.
That's fair enough. That is fair enough. I'll put the name on there as well for people. So if they actually do want to find out what the name. To be fair, I never have it on for some reason, but I'm going to start keeping it on. Then obviously people can see who's who and what's what.
Yeah.
But Ryan Lowe, then thoughts on him as a manager? I mean, is the fan base a little bit split on him? Is the opinion book still open on him?
At the start of the season, I think everyone was right behind him. He's our gaffer, he's our coach. Everyone loved him, and I felt like he really connected with the fans. Only as of recently, with bad form, obviously comes, a bit of stick. And with 5 consecutive home defeats in a row, he's bound to get some stick.
Definitely.
And some of the comments, obviously he's coming up back defending himself as any manager should do. And I think one comment he made, I'm not sure if it was a press today or yesterday, our youth team had made it into the quarterfinals of the FA Youth Cup, which for a Category 3 academy, it's big news.
Good going, is that?
Yeah, and I think he came out in the press today and said, I'm really glad they've implemented our style throughout the club. So it's kind of like, is he trying to take some sort of is he trying to say, oh yeah, they've brought in my style, they've implemented my style all the way through the club, and you're just thinking, well, if they've implemented our style all the way through the club, why have we lost 5 in a row at home?
Yeah.
So yeah, the opinion's split on him. I'm still firmly in, because I'm not too sure who you go to bring in, really. We don't really have the players to be able to bring in a manager who wants to change the system. We can't really play 4 at the back. We don't have a right back. We don't have a right wing back. So, if you're struggling for a right wing back, you definitely don't go and stick a centre midfielder at right back. So, if you got to take out Ryan Lowe, you're going to want to bring in someone else who can also play a 3-5-2. You probably look at Chris Wilder, who plays a 3-5-2. So, will he come in and will he do anything better? I'm unsure, But I would say the jury's still out for Lowe. A split between the fan base. I'm still Lowe in because I still don't think he's been backed, really. But what can you do? It's Preston North End. Managers don't really get backed. We saw that with Neil, especially in the last... We were top of the league in November. He needed 3 or 4 players come January to make a good push for it. He got Scott Sinclair on a free. Fantastic. Yeah, nice one. So, we've got to lower our expectations, I think. But yeah, I think the divide is definitely there for Ryan Lowe at Preston North End.
No, I mean, Luke says here in the chat, hope you're well, Luke. He says, do you feel you could potentially push for a playoff spot, considering with how tight that pack is?
No. The teams in the playoffs right now are there for a reason. Middlesbrough, besides yourselves and Sheffield United, Borough are definitely one of the teams that deserve to go up. Luton Town are doing a fantastic job as well. And then you look at Watford, West Brom. I'm probably not going to count Blackburn. I think they've fallen away recently. Millwall doing fantastically well. Norwich, I know, albeit you turn them over at Carrow Road. I think David Wagner's a very good appointment. I think they'll do very well. And if I've not mentioned West Brom, I think Corberan's done a fantastic job turning the ship around it there. So I think the teams around, Borough, Luton, West Brom will definitely be in the playoffs. I think probably the only teams that we fight now will be Watford, Millwall and Norwich for the last spot. I don't think Preston will probably come anywhere near. I think around about probably 14th, 15th will be Peonies. Where we end the season. So I'd like to. Don't get me wrong. I mean, who wouldn't want to sneak in the playoffs? And anything can happen in 3 games. So
it could just be role reverse. You spend half of the season in the playoffs like you have done over the years, and then drop out. This time you've not been. You sort of kept yourself outside it, and then dying weeks you just plummet in. Who knows?
Daniel's more optimistic than me about Preston. So I think.
No, I mean, you said it as well off camera. The away form, as Andrew says there, has been ridiculous.
Yeah,
Replicate it at Deepdale and you'd be up there challenging Sheffield United. But
it's crazy.
Can you put your finger on what the difference is? Like, is it just
I think
what is that's happening?
I think because when we go away, we're not expected to win.
Yeah.
I think it is.
So the pressure's off a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like that underdog mentality. You know, we're going there to snatch a win. You know, we go in, no one's expecting us to go and get something, and then we go and get something. And we're like, come on, this is fantastic. And the same can't be replicated to Deepdale because I think you're expected to win at home, especially when you come up against sides lower down in the leagues. You're expected to win at home. And I think when you're expected to win, you're expected to have more possession. Now, I don't think Peony are the best in possession. I feel like we're much better on the counter-attack. You throw that back a couple of seasons ago when we had Leeds at home and all the big boys. Whenever the big boys came to town, we turned them over at Deepdale every time because we just hit them on the counter-attack. And, you know, that was the way we go. But unfortunately, this season, I'm unsure what's happened. Lowe's come out in the press and saying he feels like the players are scared to try and like hit the ball, to even take a cross actually, in case they get a bit of stick off the fans, a bit of groaning. So I'm unsure. You know, is it a bit of the expectation of the fans that, you know, we've got players attacking brands, but players are too scared to upset the fans? It's one of those. Like,
yeah,
I think away from home, the confidence is there, but the confidence when it comes to Deepdale is just not there at all. So it's got to be instilled somehow, and it's got to be fixed because our record is 6 home defeats in a row, and we have Luton Town midweek. And the way that Rob Edwards has got them playing, you know, I can only see it going one way. So, you know, we've broken our season ticket record this season. You know, we've been told.
For a minute, I thought that was just the end of the sentence. You've broken your season ticket. You've had enough 60 beats at all. See you later.
Snapped it in half. Yeah. I've seen a couple of tweets saying how much will I pay someone to take my season ticket off me? So it's one of those. It's a bit of a negative, but it's got to be fixed because if fans, if they're expecting season ticket holders to renew next season and in their numbers like they did that this season, you don't go and lose 6 at home. That's
no.
You know, that's I'm trying to figure it out. I think that's like more than a quarter of our home games in a row lost consecutively. Can you imagine that at Turf Moor?
Not at the minute. No.
How would the feeling be if you lost 6 consecutive in a row at Turf Moor?
Yeah, you'd feel like for us, we've always felt similar to how you felt before, that your home stadium has always been your fortress.
Yeah, it's
apart
crazy.
from last year when we were relegated, it weren't. You know, we suffered at Turf Moor. We were made to watch this like punishment style football, and I'm not saying that that's just down to Dash. Yes, some of Dash's football was horrible to watch, but it got results. But yeah, some of the results we had at Turf Moor were a bit sickening to take when I'll ask the question to you. Is it been a case of you playing badly in them games, or you're still playing good football, the results just not coming with it?
Nah, I think we've had some very poor performances, Deepdale. You can say, like, you can take Bristol City, and the Bristol City fan will probably back me up there. You know, we had the chance with Tom Cannon in the first half. 2 yards out, he scores that. It's a different game. You know, we score early on, it's a completely different game. But when you've got the quality of, you know, Alex Scott, who's turned out from 4 people marking him and played it down the line for Naki Wells to cross to the back stick, what can you do? You know, it's hard to put my finger on, Dan. the home form's dreadful, and the away form's been fantastic. I can't put my finger on it, but going away to Turf Moor, with this fantastic away form, and Burnley obviously winning. I don't even know how many consecutively you've won now. I can't see our away form really.
We've won 9 consecutively at the minute.
No,
So we've won our last 9 league matches. If we win against you on Saturday, we will equal our club record of 10 successive league wins, which was set back in, I believe, January 1913.
It's fantastic. What a record that is, by the way. I don't think our away form will be able to push over Burnley, albeit I'd love to. And
I don't know. Ipswich came to the gate to Turf, and they probably were the best team that's come to us this season.
It's probably, one of our best chances to pick up some points this season. And see, it's gone.
I see what you mean.
It's
Microsoft Word doing you dirty.
Yeah, doing me dirty. I've not moved my mouse in a while. No, I don't. As I've said, Burnley will have a lot of the ball. You had, I think, like 70% of the ball at Deepdale, and it was 1-1. And the way we scored was, we kind of did a bit on the counter, and somehow we got a centre half who he didn't even hit the back of the net. He went over the line by about that much. So, yeah, if we're ever gonna pull out a performance, it'll be against one of the big boys and against Burnley. So, in my heart, this is what I'm hoping will happen. Maybe we'll be able to nab a goal, keep it 0-0. You'll come out attacking and we'll be able to nab a goal, but my head's saying completely different.
No, I bet. I mean, the resurgence of Ched Evans this season, 7 goals. I know it sounds silly when you say 7 goals and stuff, but this is a guy who's 32. He spent a good couple of years out of football with all the off-field shenanigans and stuff. But is it great to see a player like that starting to get a goal return? And do you think he could have had a lot more, performance-wise, if things were improved at home?
I mean, I think it
was a striker needed as well, though, because I know you signed Delap on loan, didn't you?
Massively,
he went back from Stoke.
Reece did his ACL and he's out for the season, and he scored 20 goals.
Yeah,
a 20-goal season striker in the Championship. You need him fit and ready. And Reece didn't. I don't think Reece has had really. He didn't really have the best start to the season. We turned down an £8 million bid from Borough to keep him at the club. So, we were hoping he was going to be firing again. It didn't turn out to be. And then Ched Evans, he scored he hadn't scored a goal in 34 games, and then scored 5 goals in 4 games. And you're like, what a nosebleed he's having. So, to be fair to Ched, he always works hard. He always puts himself about, and he always fights for the badge, which is, what more can you ask for a player? You can't ask for more. If a player goes out and gives 110%, you can't complain really. And to be fair to him, he's fully deserved his 7 goals this season. I am hoping for more, because seeing as we're joint second lowest goal scorers in the league, being 11th, which isn't very good. We did definitely need reinforcements with Tom Cannon and Liam Delap coming in on loan.
Yeah, I mean, you've won 8 of your last 14 away league games this season, drawn 3 and lost 3, but forget that. No side has won more away games than you this season. I mean, again, it's a good stat to have.
Yeah, it is.
But like you say, it's the whole situation of sorting your shit out at home, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. As someone commented before, we saw our home form, which needs drastically changing, and we put it against our away form. We've got 32 points away from home. You also add on, getting 32 points at home as well. You know, we're 1 point off you. So,
yeah.
So, you know, if you transfer the form from home, I said this before when we were off air. I said, I don't think the mood around the club would be so different if it was roles reversed and, you know, we're picking up 32 points at Deepdale, because everyone expects you to win at home and they don't expect you to win away. So, you know, without our away form, we'd be royally down the pan. So it's one of the weirdest things I've known, you know, P&E this season, drawing like, I don't know, having not conceding like eight in a row at the start of the season or something, and now we've only got like 8 points at home after 29 games. It's one of the weirdest seasons I've ever seen, Dan.
I bet. I mean, you've said there the home form needs to change at some point. It's just going to take that one game, that one result, and hopefully it will change things around for you. My sister's tried to ring me. I wondered if it were my phone was flashing. But yeah, I just going into this one then, like you said, you think that Burnley are going to see a lot of the ball. How are Preston going to set up? Is it going to be like a defensive style, 11 men behind the ball and try and withstand pressure until late on? Or do you think you're going to come at us and try and go for it a little bit? Because when teams have done that, it's not necessarily been a bad thing.
I think we're going to be a lot more conservative than try to give the game to you. I know at some point, if we end up conceding, that, you know, the plan goes out the window. If it's kept at 0-0, we'll try and be as conservative as possible and try and hit you and nab a goal or so. You know, we are coming up against the best team in the league. I know we're rivals, but let's not beat around the bush. You've blown everyone out the water this season. So I think it'd be silly for me to say, you know, we're going to come at you and we're going to give you a proper game and we're going to try.
That's it in derbies, though. It can be like that, can't it? Like literally form and everything goes out the window. I know it's a bit cliche, but
yeah, I mean, anything can happen. You know, it's a game of football, as you say. But if we're going to come to Turf Moor, we're going to try and make it hard to score. I think we're probably going to try and revert to how we were at the start of the season, make us really hard to score against, and hopefully that happens and we manage to nab a goal or so. I think that's how we'll set up, you know, potentially trying to nab a point or hopefully 3 points. But I can't see us really, you know, coming out all guns blazing to try and blow yourselves out of the water like you're not expecting it. But if it does happen, then I'm all for it, Dan. I can't lie.
I bet you will. You'll be happy as a pig in shit, mate. I'm sure you will. Exactly. Ollie says Burnley to win 3-1. I will take that. I will snap your hand off for that now. How do you think your starting 11 will be?
Oh well.
Who would you pick? Who would your starting 11 be against?
Well,
you know, Burnley's set up this season.
I mean, Ryan Lowe at the weekend played 3 strikers up top. Like three. Yeah, you've heard that right. Played Delap, Cannon, and Evans up top because he wanted to go gung ho at home, and it was a bit crazy.
He definitely went gung ho, didn't it?
It didn't go well. Might revert back to I don't know. He'll probably play for me. Do you want my side or Ryan Lowe's side? My side.
Yeah, give your side. Give your side.
So obviously Woodman in there, 3 at the back. Story, Lindsay, Hughes, and then Brown right wing back, Brady left wing back, Whiteman, McCann, Onomer, Cannon, Delap, or Evans. I think Cannon's done probably better than Delap has, and shown a bit more. And obviously Evans with our top goal scorer, you're probably not going to drop Ched. But you know, you bring in 2 loanees from Premier League sides. I mean, I know Ched Evans does well in big games. He's done fantastically against Blackburn, scoring 2 goals away at Ewood Park in a 4-1 smashing.
Good lad, Ched.
Yeah, so I reckon Ched will start. Maybe Delap might start on the bench, or Cannon. It'll be one of those. I can't see us really playing 3 strikers again and going gung-ho for it. To be fair, I don't think anything will really change from Lowe's decision. Maybe instead of Onoma, he'll play maybe Woodburn or Daniel Johnson in the 10.
He must be getting on a bit now, Dan Johnson.
Yeah, he's running into his last year of the contract. He's 30, but he's one of our top earners, and I'm not too sure if he's going to get a new deal. He's not really been playing much for us this season, so I'm not too sure. But he did turn up in 2015 against you at Turf Moor, so if he does start, hopefully we get the same, but I'm not too optimistic.
No, Paul says in the chat, he says, what's your take on Robbie Brady? Because for us, he just became Mr. Glass Ankles.
He's played almost
he's
every
actually
game
been pretty consistent. Yeah, I was going to say he's been consistent for you.
Yeah, he's played almost every game this season. So he's been... he's blown my expectation and straight out the window. I expected him to potentially play a couple of games, especially off... I wasn't expecting him to complete full 90s, and he's almost played every game for us this season. So the thing is with Brady, he has these bursts of quality where he's clearly above our level of Preston North End.
Yeah.
But then at the weekend, if you saw Bristol City's first goal, that side of Robbie Brady also might come out, and his crossing is fantastic at points. He's got probably.
Is it the defensive aspect that's a little bit questionable?
I mean, I think he gets backed up well because we have a good left centre back in Andrew Hughes, who's also played left back, so we can fill in well. I think really it's probably like his consistency, I would say, because he has bursts of quality, which is fantastic. But he also just has games where it could easily just pass him by. So I think it's just a bit of consistency needed. But yeah, when he's on it, he's clearly above the level of Preston.
No, fair shout. And the big question that everyone wants to know, your score prediction. As I say, you can give your heart version and your head version, however you want to play it. I'll
give my heart first. As I've mentioned, what I'd love to happen, stick everyone behind the ball, potentially nab one as you're coming out, all guns blazing in the last 10 minutes, maybe nip down the other end and slot one in, 1-0. So my heart's probably saying a 1-0 smash and grab by P&E, but my head's saying 3-1 Burnley.
No, fair enough. I'll keep my cards close to my chest for the time being. Just because, at 9 o'clock, we will be back. I'll be with that dirty, filthy, stinking Bristolian at 9 p.m. We'll be doing the EFL prediction show and trying to predict this weekend's fixtures. So join us again at 9 o'clock for that. But other than that, I really appreciate it, Ollie. I really appreciate your time and everything else. And good luck for the rest of the season. I'm not going to go all cliche apart from this weekend. But yeah, good luck for the rest of the season. Who knows? Outside contenders. But I know you said for you, safety is paramount. And then what will be, will be.
Yeah.
But, no, I really appreciate it, mate. And as I said, just give your channel another shout out again.
No, yeah, thanks for having me on once again, Dan. The podcast is at the Butterpie Podcast on Twitter. That's probably the best place to find us. We are trying to get back to doing one episode per week. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the podcast. And my personal ones are at Ollie Hargreaves if you want to talk about North End, which I'm sure many Burnley fans will do.
Of course, can't keep you out of our mouths, same as Blackburn. But no, thank you again. I really do appreciate it. Guys, if you've enjoyed this, if you are listening on the podcast platforms, then thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. And if you're following us, because we are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch, then keep showing your support. Really do appreciate it. So if you could, and you haven't already, please absolutely Hulk smash that like button. That would be amazing. And also subscribe to the channel if you are new. That notification bell, do what you want with it. If you want it on, put it on. If not, don't bother. It doesn't bother me. As long as you could do them first two, that would be really appreciative. And yeah, let's help this channel grow. Other than that, it's Burnley versus Preston this weekend. A derby clash in the Championship. Burnley have suffered just 2 league defeats in their opening 29 league games this season, the fewest by a side at this stage of a Championship season since Reading in 05-06. Who went on to win the league with 106 points. Can Burnley go all out and go unbeaten all season and get 117? It's doable. I don't think it's going to happen, though. But can we even beat the record since the change of hands? We shall see. See come Saturday. So let's hope for the best. Join us at 9 o'clock. We'll be back live again with more shitty content for you to keep your eyes on. But until then, thanks again and take care.